What if the most powerful empire in sports started with one painful rejection? Before the rings, before the Nike deal, before people protected their Jordans like national treasure, Michael Jordan was just a skinny kid who was told he was not ready. That moment could have ended his dream. Instead, it built the mindset that changed basketball, sneakers, business, and culture. Today in this video, we are not just talking about a player. We are talking about how an underdog became unstoppable and how one name became a billion-dollar empire. But the empire did not begin with money. It began with embarrassment. Michael Jordan's story does not start with a trophy. It starts with a no. At Laney High School in Wilmington, North Carolina, Jordan wanted to make the varsity basketball team, but as a 5'11" sophomore, he was cut from the varsity team. NBA.com notes that he later grew before his junior year and began his path towards superstardom. Now, imagine that for a second. You are a teenager. You love the game. You believe you belong. Then someone basically says, "Not yet." And the worst part is, everyone around you can see it. Your friends know. Your classmates know. Your family knows. And deep down, you know too. That kind of rejection can do two things. It can make you quit, or it can make you dangerous. Most people treat rejection like a final judgment. One coach says no, and they think, maybe I'm not built for this. One job rejects them, and they think, maybe I'm not smart enough. One video flops, and suddenly they delete the whole channel like the internet personally betrayed them.
Jordan did not do that. He used the pain. He practiced harder. He trained longer. He turned embarrassment into fuel. That is the first mindset lesson. Rejection is not proof that you are finished. Sometimes rejection is just life asking, are you serious, or were you only interested when it was easy? And that is where most people lose. They want the glory, but not the lonely part. They want the fresh Jordans, but not the hours in the gym. They want the empire, but not the early days when nobody believes in them. Jordan's gift was not just talent. It was how he responded when talent was not enough. Because once he got noticed, the next battle was even harder, proving he could win when everyone wanted to stop him. Jordan went on to the University of North Carolina, where he hit the game-winning shot in the 1982 NCAA championship as a freshman. In 1984, the Chicago Bulls selected him third overall in the NBA draft. Looking back now, two teams passing on Michael Jordan feels like skipping a gold bar because the wrapping was not shiny enough. But being drafted was not the finish line. It was the beginning of pressure. Jordan had talent, but talent only opens the door. Obsession keeps you in the room. He wanted to win everything. Games, practices, small challenges, big moments. If there was a scoreboard, real or imaginary, Jordan wanted his name at the top. That sounds intense, because it was intense. But that obsession became his edge. Here is the difference. Most people like winning. Jordan hated losing. Liking success makes you work when you feel motivated. Hating failure makes you work when you are tired, sore, annoyed, and ready to blame everything except your own preparation. That is why his mindset was so powerful. He did not just say, I want to be great. He asked, what is stopping me? Then he attacked that weakness. When the Detroit Pistons made the game physical, Jordan got stronger. When critics said he could score but not lead a team to titles, he kept pushing. When pressure increased, he did not run from it. He became sharper inside it. And if you are still watching, like and subscribe, because this is the part where the story stops being only about basketball and becomes a blueprint for life. You may not be trying to win NBA championships. Maybe you are building a business, studying for exams, growing a YouTube channel, working a job you hate, or trying to change your family's future. The rule is the same. Talent may get you attention, but discipline makes people trust you. And once people trusted Jordan on the court, one company saw something bigger than basketball. Nike did not just sign a basketball player. They helped create a symbol. Air Jordan was not only a shoe, it was confidence with laces. It was flight in a box. It was the feeling that if you wore them, maybe you walked a little taller, moved a little sharper, and entered the room like your playlist just changed. That is why Jordans became different. A normal sneaker protects your feet. Jordans protect your ego. Let someone step on a fresh pair, and suddenly friendship, peace, and emotional maturity all leave the building. But jokes aside, this is where Jordan's empire really started. The product worked because the story was powerful. People were not only buying leather, rubber, and design, they were buying the mindset attached to the man. That is branding. Jordan represented more than basketball. He represented pressure, excellence, style, and victory. Kids wanted the shoes because they wanted the feeling. Adults bought them because they remembered what Jordan meant. Sneakerheads collected them because every pair felt like a piece of sports history. Even decades after Jordan's final NBA game, the brand stayed huge. The Wall Street Journal reported that Nike made about $7 billion in Jordan brand sales in its last fiscal year, with footwear making up most of that business. Nike also reported full-year fiscal 2025 revenue of $46.3 billion overall. That is not normal athlete fame. That is cultural power. The lesson here is huge. If you want to build something lasting, do not only chase attention, build meaning. Attention is quick. Meaning lasts. A viral moment can disappear in a week. A strong identity can last for decades. Jordan became bigger than the game because people understood what his name meant. His name meant winning. It meant work. It meant style. It meant I am not here to be average. But the real billion-dollar move was not just selling shoes. It was turning fame into ownership. Here is where the story becomes bigger than sports. Jordan earned around $90 million in NBA salary during his playing career, but Forbes listed his 2026 net worth at about $4.3 billion. That means the real wealth did not come only from playing basketball. It came from endorsements, brand value, business moves, and ownership. That is the part most people miss. Being paid is good. Owning something valuable is better. Jordan did not just want applause. He built assets. His name sold shoes. His image sold belief. His story sold confidence. And later, his ownership moves made him even wealthier. In 2023, Forbes reported that Jordan sold his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets at a valuation of about $3 billion, one of the biggest moves in athlete business history. That is a different scoreboard. Most people only ask, how much can I earn? Jordan's story teaches a bigger question. What can I build that keeps growing even when I am not playing anymore? That is how you move from worker to owner, from talent to brand, from moment to legacy. And no, that does not mean everyone needs to build a sneaker company. Maybe you are building a YouTube channel. Maybe you are starting a small business. Maybe you are learning a skill. Maybe you are trying to become the person your family can depend on. The principle is the same. Build skill, build trust, build a name. Then connect that name to something valuable. Jordan's rise was not perfect. No real empire is. He had losses, pressure, criticism, and business risks. But he kept turning each stage into leverage. Rejection became work. Work became greatness. Greatness became trust. Trust became a brand. The brand became an empire. That is the real mindset. Not never fail. Fail, learn, adjust, return stronger. That is what made him unstoppable. Michael Jordan's story proves one thing. Your lowest moment can become the start of your strongest identity. He did not build a billion-dollar empire by avoiding rejection. He used it. So if this story changed how you see pressure, failure, and success, like and subscribe, because your underdog season may be building something bigger than you think.